And we are live with episode 66 of the Start Build Grow Show. What is up, everybody? I hope you guys had a great 4th of July. Randy, what's going on, my friend?
What is good, Nick? Man, we're back.
We're back.
After a long weekend. I'm sure everybody worked really hard and spent all day, slaving over those roofs and contracts.
Yep.
No, I really hope you didn't do that because take a break, go enjoy your families. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. And they're all excited like we are out here in Denver, ready to crush this new storm we got over the weekend. So we got a little extra bonus while we were away, enjoying the weekend away. A little hailstorm.
The hailstorm. Oh, let's talk about that for sure then.
Yeah, man.
But, our guest here, we're going to just wait 1 second. We're going to thank our sponsors and things like that, and then we'll bring him in. But, he came in about 30 episodes ago or something like that. And I was in our office in downtown Denver, and the power literally went out. That's how much fire he was bringing. It busted the system.
He literally broke the internet.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. So
he's that good. He's that
good.
That legit of a guest.
We call him Showtime.
For those of you tuning in live, what is up? Say hi. Let us know who you are, where you're from. We like comments. We like gifts. We like emojis. He's a millennial, so
love
do your millennial thing. And let's show Ronnie some love as well. I'm sure a lot of his friends are watching. Hello, everybody from our main sponsor, Job Nimbus.
Job Nimbus. Let's start
so
right
we'll
there.
talk a little bit about that throughout the show. So jobnimbus.com, blah, blah, blah. Ronnie's gonna take care of you guys throughout the show. So, but I do have, again, it's a lot of companies just getting started. A lot of companies growing.
Yep.
Hey, if you're growing your business this year, you just got a hailstorm, you're going to grow your business. Don't forget that you had insurance premiums based off of a projection. If you're going to outperform that projection, especially a lot of my clients who are going to outperform the projections,
they better.
You got to get your insurance evaluated. Make sure you don't get hit with a big workers' comp insurance audit at the end of the year. Hit up our man Josh Cotner, get out ahead of it, and see what you can do to save money on insurance, well as get amazing customer experience.
Yeah.
And also, we've been, our friends over at Boss Up Solutions, want to give them a shout out, bossupsolutions.com. And let everybody, they wanted to tell me that I can share a little secret.
Nice.
That they are working on some new programming and some new options to help mitigate a lot of that monotony of posting to social media.
I like
so
that.
That's a little hint. Check
me.
out and follow Job Nimbus, or check out Job Nimbus. BossUpSolutions.com.
I know. You got Job Nimbus on the mind.
And check them out online too. All over Facebook, all over social media. I mean, you can see what they're doing, see what they're already doing with their own media, as well as their clients. And it's a great opportunity to break into the social media world at a very affordable rate.
Yes, sir. Well, let's dive into it. Thanks for doing that, Randy. We have Rachel Iverson already hopped on. She says she's here and excited to learn more about Job Nimbus. We have Nathan Ellis. We do love Job Nimbus. Man, dude,
awesome.
Right. That's a good entrance for our guy, Ronnie Showtime Smith. How you doing, my friend?
Man, I'm doing great, man. How's everything going?
It's good, man. We're expecting a lot from you on this show. I know you just got a pool put in, and you've been relaxing by your pool over the 4th of July weekend. You need to have some fire, man. Let's go.
Man, I'm ready, man. Well, let's get the party started.
Cool, man. Well, let's do a quick intro for the few people out there who might not know who you are. What's your background in entrepreneurship? How did you get into the roofing space per se? Just a little background story on you.
Oh, man. So basically for the last 15 plus years, I started out actually in the construction industry as a headhunter, believe it or not, and got into consulting. And we really started working with large commercial contractors. And we were basically going in and consulting with them. And, man, we were doing some big stuff. And I really got into the niche of working with the small to mid-sized companies because that's the ones I'm very passionate about. And man, just hooked up with Job Nimbus about 4 years ago, came on board with these guys, and we've been rocking it ever since.
Nice, man. So why did you get connected to Job Nimbus? What kind of drew you to the company?
Because they actually they were focusing on the same type of customers as I was. I mean, we were focusing on small to mid-size type construction companies, and that's my background, is actually residential and commercial construction. And being able to just go in, I'm that nuts and bolts guy, man. I'm all about the processes and going in and evaluating those things. And with Job Nimbus, man, we have the tools, and if those tools are used correctly, then man, it will absolutely revolutionize their business. And it's all about just organization, man.
Awesome. And guys, while we're talking about that too, so whether you use Job Nimbus now or are thinking about using Job Nimbus, they have the Solution Summit coming up October 3rd and 4th in Orlando, Florida.
Correct.
So if you guys are really interested in like maximizing that, make sure you guys are checking it out. We have in the show link for the event, we have the early bird special. I think there's like 5 days left where you can get $100 off.
Yes. Hey, and while we're talking about that real quick, man, it's going to be very, very good. Randy, you're going to be there too, right?
Oh man, I'm a man. I just went all in on sponsorship. We're taking
let's go, man.
We're full on partnered up, my friend.
Here's the thing about the Job Nimbus Summit solution that really just pumps up for me is that, man, Jim Johnson's going to be there. Man, we got some of our own personal people. One of the things about this, we want to keep it real. We want to keep people that are in the business, doing the business, and we listen to basically all of our customers. And this year, man, we're going to have so many different type of breakout sessions to where you can get some hands-on type stuff. So we really have taken it up to another level. Man, Orlando, Florida, guys, come on. Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, dude. Yeah, Texas was great. We were in Austin last time, like right on the university. It was an amazing complex. I really enjoyed it last year, so we're pumped up for it. But so how long have you guys known each other? What's your, when do you guys go back to?
Oh, wow.
Well, I got a good story there. So when we converted as a company over to Job Nimbus, what, 3.5 years ago, something like that.
Yep.
And it was, and then we were like, having some trouble because we were already like had a lot of users and we are already like really immersed. So we had to convert everything over and like, man, hey, CRMs, like there's a lot of value, but you got to go through a process to really get that value out.
Yep.
And so we were like, hey, what can we do to expedite this process of learning this new system and customizing it when you're dealing with a customizable platform? So lo and behold, we just reached out and said, hey, what kind of options do you have? And we decided to kind of invest in the whole program and invest in the customizing the whole deal. And lo and behold, my man Ronnie Smith showed up, and fire and sparks flew at that point too. And we've been having a great time and making things happen ever since.
I love it.
The coolest thing when I flew into Orlando, or actually to Colorado, to actually meet Randy, man, it was just like we just kind of just got in. I just dove straight into his processes, man. We just kind of dug into it. And not only did we get into the business realm, but we actually created a really cool friendship out of this. And this is one of the things I love about what we do is not only do we have a lot of customers, man, we have actually created a lot of friendships. And I've had an opportunity, man, over the last year, just to help 200-300 people, man, just companies just going in and helping them to change their lives and change their businesses. So it's just a great way of us getting together. And that's how me and Randy met. Took me to a cool park, man.
It's all about relationships.
Absolutely.
We talk about that a lot on this show. That's a pretty common theme that a lot of our guests share, is that no matter what you do, where you are in life, what you're trying to accomplish in business, like a core element of being successful and putting yourself in position to have great opportunities come your way is all about building relationships. And it's not about building relationships to get whatever you can. If you're genuinely out there building relationships and making friendships, I mean, I can see Ronnie once a year and we're automatically just going to be bros.
Yeah.
That's a real relationship there. It's not like I'm not calling him every other day, but it's like you generate these real relationships within the industry, and all of a sudden things just happen. Opportunities present themselves.
You got this whole team.
Invest in relationships. It is worth it, and be genuine and do it for the right reasons.
Absolutely. We got William Fletcher out here saying Ronnie's the man, man. You're getting all these shout outs. Love it, dude.
Hey, William, how are you, buddy?
I love it. Well, okay, so with the show, our main kind of focus that we're going to be talking about is, when your business is growing, it gets harder and harder to manage it properly. So, as the business expands, we want to help, roofing or other contracting businesses out there scale properly. So when you're getting hands-on with these companies, what are like some of the common growing pains you're noticing in these businesses as they expand and scale?
So I'm going to jump into that, but I want to kind of start this out, and then I'm going to talk to you about some of the key things that I typically see with the industry that we're in. But before I get there, I was talking to you a little bit earlier, Nick, and Albert Einstein said something so profound, and he said the world as we have created it is a process of our thinking. So whatever we're creating, it's because of the processes that we're thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. So even in our own thought processes, it starts even in our own thinking. So some of the things that we actually face, and with a lot of the different type of companies and roofing companies, where they're startup, whether they're in it 5 years, man, dude, Randy was in it for like 7 years. So when we first started, and now look at him and just developing. But Randy can actually can just agree with me on this, is that the number one problem that most of you guys face in the industry is communication breakdown. That is absolutely the number one problem. And now that's communication internally and also externally. That's communicating internally of knowing what's going on with the customers, externally as far as communicating it back to the customer. That's the number one problem. The second problem that I typically face wherever I go, and I preach this everywhere I go, is poor expectations. From the sales process, sales guys, man, they sell it at a high level, and then when the job comes in before it gets into production, then all of a sudden those expectations start to fall because nobody's following up with them, which is the third thing that I typically see. So communication breakdown is number one, expectations is number two, and then follow up is actually number three. Now, I will tell you, there is a fourth one here, guys, and Randy will tell you, is getting your team to commit to the processes. It's getting them to buy into those processes and making sure that whatever processes that you guys come up with, that you stick with it and you don't change it every day. You got to give it a chance. You got to get a chance to work, right? But those are the four things that I typically see a lot of.
I love it. So, with the communication side of things, how do you really judge your communication? Because, when we spoke last time, you talked about being proactive rather than reactive. But as business owners, all of a sudden hail hits, what's reactive? The entire business, right? So it's hard to actually evaluate and analyze where you're at. How do you improve that? And I kind of identify where those issues are in communication.
Well, I think part of that is knowing where you are in business. Here's the thing about it is most people try to fly by the seat of their pants, right? They don't have no visibility. And so with inside of like the software, like especially in our software in Job Nimbus, having the boards is probably one of the most crucial things, is being able to know where you are in the jobs. But I will tell you this, that another part of that is it blows my mind to how many business owners we have to where they don't even have weekly meetings. So they don't even meet with their managers. And if you're a small company, even if there's only two of you, you guys should be setting aside every week a time to where you can kind of digest and look at your business and kind of break it down and talk about where those things are. And that's where it needs to start. It needs to start out by being able to communicate through these meetings, and then being able to visually see where you are in your process. Otherwise, you're just throwing a dart in the dark.
Absolutely. Let me put the entrepreneur, owner twist on that and address the fear that we have. Okay, we fear that meetings are going to be a negative thing. Oh, nobody wants a meeting. No, none of them are productive. It's just a waste of time and all this sort of thing. So we go into it with a negative mindset. We don't prep. We don't have a good, solid meeting process and agenda and outcomes and all the things in place that you need to have to really have a good, established, effective meeting. But our fear is that and we don't want that structure either. We're all entrepreneurs. We're all out in the field. We're making things happen. In our trucks, on roofs, like just making it happen. But we don't want to. Yeah. We have the fear of the being tied down to these meetings. Of it's going to be a waste of time. It's not going to be worth it. And I don't want to be constrained to that sort of environment. But I will tell you that structure leads to freedom.
Absolutely.
So all of us and all of us entrepreneurs, We're all out here chasing freedom. We want freedom. We want to be able to come and go whenever we want. But our biggest fear of having these meetings and having these structured meetings, we think that that's reducing our freedom. But in all reality, that is what's causing freedom. I speak from experience here, where we are very structured with meetings and all of our departments and all that stuff. And a lot of things get done. There's always balls in motion. We're always improving systems, getting better, and just growing and just crushing the systems that we use through and have built through Job Nimbus. But if we didn't have structured meetings in a structured environment, none of it would even work.
And Randy, just to piggyback off of what you're saying, a lot of times when you're thinking about meetings, most people are thinking, I'm going to have this 2 or 3 hour meeting. No. Listen, man, if you are focused, if you're focused, matter of fact, if you're using like Job Nemesis boards correctly, man, you can pop into the sales board and have a sales meeting and look at the jobs, and you can go in and have a 30 to 45 minute meeting. And here's this holds true for every minute that you plan, you're saving 2 in execution. Because a lot of times we're not planning nothing. We don't have any directions of what we got to accomplish. So it's just like we're going in all of these different directions. So it's very important. It doesn't have to be something to where you have long meetings. It can be short ones.
We got another shout out here too.
Structured meetings and leadership too. I mean, and here's something. Let me put another. We'll go to the next thing here. But I'm going to put a little cap on this because there's a lot of entrepreneurs watching, right? A lot of owners. We watch this show. That's what this show is all about. Listening too. This is a podcast. You're watching. You're listening. We got to get used to saying listening more because we're getting more later watches and later listens than the live stuff anymore. But the idea is, you're an owner. You're the leader. You got to have a meeting with yourself, right? We just wake up, grab the phone, see what fire we got to put out, and we just go.
Yep.
Every day, and we come back when we can't walk anymore, we can't function anymore, or our wife and our kids are just screaming, "Come back home!" Right? Make some time for yourself. Have a meeting with yourself to evaluate and prioritize each and every day, and just think about how to correctly allocate your time each day. And you will also start. That's how you start the process of effective meetings and effective time management.
Yep.
God, I could piggyback off of that, but I won't.
Go ahead. Go for it. We're not going to cut it off. We're going to let it flow. Go for it.
Well, the thing about it is man, power hours. Power hours are so powerful because you're power focusing on something. So when you're as a leader and you're sitting down and you're looking at your day and you're spending that time, because a lot of time the time is managing them instead of them managing their time. We all have 24 hours in a day and we only have 7 days a week. And I will tell you, this is proven. I have spoke to so many roofing companies to where they have built some pretty nice sized companies, but they don't have no balance. They don't have balance in business, and they don't have balance at a home life. And they're getting there at 6 o'clock in the morning, not leaving until 7, because they're trying to micromanage, because they're trying to do everything. But as a true leader is being able to enable and empower your people, so your people can, when you're hiring people, when you're bringing people in it and you're leading and you're in front of it, most right now, people that own roofing companies, they're working in the business instead of on the business. And the only way they can ever get to work on the business is if they can delegate it, hire the right people, and put them around them. I know we talked about that last time too.
Yeah,
you know what?
Yeah,
that is a perfect segue. We got a lot of viewership for our featured spotlight sponsor of the week.
Who we got?
And we have some big news from this sponsor, the Roofing Academy.
The Roofing
This
Academy.
is this week's sponsor. Okay.
Wow, look at that.
We don't push it all the time, but hey, we are sponsored and featured, and that's what we do.
How about?
It's literally designed to help people make that transition from in their business to on their business. And we may or may not have just finished up a really big project with
We did. Yeah, guys.
And we have some promotions going.
Let's go. Yeah, guys, do us a favor. If you're watching, check out the roofingacademy.com. We just launched a new website. Let us know what you think.
Brand new website. Let us know what you think. We want your feedback. We're really excited about it. This is literally the first time we've even made it public. It went live yesterday.
Yep.
We're really excited. New programming, a ton of great features, and some amazing incentives on there for you too that I'm not even going to make public. You're going to have to go to the website to check them out.
All right, guys. I want to say hi to a couple of people here because I know it's summer, it's crazy. Sometimes it's hard to jump on Facebook Live. But Charles, what's up? Nathan, what's going on? Rachel, what's up? And Andrew Allen Near. We got Kelly Good out in Michigan, Goods Roofing. We got Jerry saying, "Love you guys. I could not run my claims business without Job Nimbus." Armando J. Cox just started a new roofing company out here in Colorado. Congrats on that, man. I hope you're doing great. But yeah, just want to give a quick shout out to you guys. But when you were saying the hiring aspect, when do you know that you have enough money in the bank to be hiring somebody?
You don't. You just got to sometimes take risks.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of reverse thinking, right? You think you like, all right, I need the money
right
in order to like invest in the person, and that's part of it. But as long as you can afford a 3 to 6 months.
Is that your numbers? Like, do you have some kind of guideline that you follow?
And that should only happen maybe like once. Once you do it once, you get that first hire, you get the system and process. Mm-hmm. You're able to somewhat start streamlining your business. It becomes a lot easier because then now it's just a matter of managing your cash flow.
And you know how to bring people on it and train them.
And then we teach like how to analyze numbers and ratios and projections to figure out what kind of a budget you can actually build for yourself for hiring people, and that's quite helpful as well, because you can kind of plan growth if you know what your numbers are, what your overhead is, what it needs to be in order to reach your profit goals. We're getting technical here, but that's kind of, you can reverse engineer. You want to get pretty deep to be able to kind of figure that sort of stuff out. But that first hire, if you're busy and you're ready to grow, you got to invest, man. You got to take a risk and make sure you take a risk on a good quality person that can ideally help you, take your whole business to the next level. That first hire is really important.
Yeah. What about you, Ronnie? What you got?
And I'm just kind of piggybacking off of what he says, when you're looking about hiring, and that's definitely on the financial side of this. But look, most people don't even know what their processes are. They don't take enough time to sit down and figure out what the sales processes are, what's your production, what's your billing. And what happens is when you start breaking down your processes, then Randy will tell you that this is true, because a lot of times you got people doing double duty and they're overloading them. So when you know where those processes are, and when you start getting backed up on that, then you kind of know, hey, I need to hire someone. So if you got a business owner that's wearing all the hats, he's the salesperson, the billing person, the production manager, and all of a sudden you're starting to run yourself thin, at that point, that you need to hire somebody. And then it may be, look, hey, I need to hire someone to run my production for me, that can schedule my jobs, or it may be someone that can handle that billing. But if you sit down on the front end and kind of understand what your processes are, you're going to know what type of individual that you need to hire for that position, because at that point, you're going to know exactly what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. So let me put another icing on that for you. From the entrepreneur perspective, and we talk about this, but in order to do that, you kind of need to know what you're really good at first. So you kind of need to know like what your ideal role or most beneficial role within the organization is, and and compare that to you can do an assessment, like understand who you really are, and then try to find a person that can kind of balance out the things that you're not good at, and then couple that with the demand of what your business needs are, and then reverse engineer all of that to try to get the right person.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, Randy, one of the things too that is really important, and I've done this actually when I've been on site and going in, is sitting down with the owner and asking them, what do you see yourself doing? Mm-hmm. And you got to think about the things that are important to you, because if you are going to run the business and not work in the business, you got to figure out what you need to do as a business owner, and then be able to delegate those things to the people that can help you to grow your business. So that you're dead on that. I've done that thousands of times of having to dig through to find out, because we're not there. Sometimes we're not great at everything, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
So, I'm a business owner of almost 2 years now, right? Still small. We just have a couple of people. How do you, build an onboarding program? And how do you know if it's any good? Because, if you don't have something like that, you can't really blame your new employee for not really doing that well.
So, Randy, you want to take it, or you want me to take it?
Go ahead, man. I'll add on.
So, when you're talking about onboarding new people, is that you got to kind of know what your vision is. What is your mission statements? What do you believe in? Because when you're onboarding, you got to know that goes back into the processes as well, because, you got to know what programs you're going to implement. But the thing about it is when you onboard someone, is you don't hire them just because you're buddies with them or you go out with them. I mean, you got to make sure you're hiring the right people. And one of the things that is important about hiring is getting the people that's already in your organization a part of the hiring process. So you want to make sure that you have multi-levels of hiring. So that way, if you're hiring a salesperson, he may not just talk, he may talk to the office manager. He may talk to the production manager. Why? Because he's going to be working with them probably more than they are with you directly. So So you want to get the feedback from as a team. It's not, and then as a business owner, you make the ultimate decision and make the final package. But once you hire that person, you should already have a developed way of how you're going to onboard them. Everything from whether it's cell phones, programs, teaching them the softwares, having, doing 1 week in training inside of the office, have 1 week in the field if they're going to go out and canvas or whatever, and give them the tools that they need so that when they do get out there, that they're not going to fall on their face because they didn't have that ride along or whatever.
Absolutely. We've got to stop this just hire at will and throw people out there and hope that they are successful, man. I mean, it's such a bad way of doing business. I mean, it not only kind of it puts a lot of risk out there because you never know what these people without any training are actually saying or doing or how they're acting out in the public. You don't even know them. You haven't even know their character, right? And 1 out of 5 might work out and become a rock star, but the other 4, not only are they going to maybe cause issues for the company, but they're also causing issues for their own lives. If it's not a good fit, it's not a good fit. I mean, why throw someone out there and let them fail in 2 months? Like I can't, as a empathetic owner that genuinely cares about my people and genuinely cares about the people that come to our company, like, why not invest your time and energy into building a really dialed in training, onboarding, hiring, interviewing process, all the above, and hire 1 person instead of 5 and pour into that person and make sure that that person is set up, just like you said, Ronnie, give them the tools to be successful. And you eliminate so many headaches in our entire industry if we can just do that one thing. But
Absolutely.
nobody is willing to put in the time and energy to build out those systems.
And I would tell you that when you're hiring and you're onboarding people, what to me is important is be slow to hire and be and then basically fire fast because you won't. And I'll tell you this is people are not always hiring people with the necessary experience. They're hiring culturally. Yeah. They're looking for culture. They're wanting to make sure, are they a part of my family? Do they see the vision? Do they believe the way that we believe? And that we can actually, because the skills of teaching someone, how to go in and sell the roofs, those things are teachable. But man, loyalty, honesty, and those types of things, man, those are built in.
Absolutely. And it's amazing the results you get when you stick to those rules. I love it. You mentioned that's one of my 3 rules of hiring, and the other one we talked about earlier is hire character, teach skills. And you also touched on the culture one.
Yeah, I read your book, Randy.
Character. You must have read the book, right? But you hire for culture. That's a big one. It is a big misconception that you can just hire a bunch of people and get them to all become a certain way or become a culture that you want to build into your company. Right. You can't just change a bunch of people to fit a culture. You have to create that culture and that vision first, and then hire people that fit the culture. You have to hire the culture, not train or convert a culture.
We actually had a question that I missed a little while ago from Rachel, so I just want to dive into that quick. Do you ever feel like there are things you are sacrificing when you're trying to prioritize? You want to take it first, Ronnie?
Yeah, can you say that one more time? It actually froze up on me.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so we got from Rachel Iverson. Do you ever feel like there are things you are sacrificing when you are trying to prioritize?
Man, dude, I'm so sorry, dude. It actually froze up on me again.
Oh, it did? All right. Hey, third time's the charm, all right? We got it.
Go ahead.
All right. Do you ever feel like there are things that you are sacrificing when you're trying to prioritize?
You know what? Yeah, I mean, and when you're the things about it, the one thing you'd never want to sacrifice, I'll tell you, there is no business worth it sacrificing your family. It's
Amen.
not worth it.
Amen.
You know, and when you're making business choices and looking at things internally, is you got to make sure that your priorities are in the right order. And so number one, you never sacrifice family. And I'll tell you that that's going back to the balance in having a balance in business and knowing, hey, and don't deviate from that. You know, in your schedule, I can tell you right now, I've known Randy long enough that he has everything in his calendar. He knows when he's going to be off. He knows when he's going to have his alone time. He knows when he's going to be doing business things. So when you're sacrificing things, family is something that's non-negotiable. You cannot negotiate or do away with family. Now, as far as business wise, you know, there are going to be times to where there are going to be some sacrifices that you're going to have to make, and there are going to be times that you're going to have some long days. But it's about making sure that you make those things up. If I heard that question correctly, but that's my take on it.
Yeah, to piggyback, you're definitely, there's always a trade-off. There's always going to be some level of sacrifice when you're prioritizing. There's always, you know, there's never going to be a list that's completed when you're an entrepreneur. Just get used to it, right? You're always going to be, there's always going to be something else you could be doing and working on and whatever. But the idea is, as long as you got your priorities, in your personal priorities, like what he said with family and that sort of thing, in the right place, you know, then it just becomes, you know, more of a methodical, hey, I may like doing certain things, but are these, you have to ask yourself, is this activity bettering my company? Is this activity helping my company move forward? Or is it just something that somebody else can do, or that just needs to get done, that isn't going to actually do anything to propel the company forward? So,
you know, that's a powerful
prioritize, like, my energy needs to be synced up with my strengths, my God-given strengths, and my vision as a leader, as an entrepreneur. So yeah, sometimes you're gonna have to sacrifice things, like the fun things. You know, hey, maybe you like selling roofs, but you know that, hey, I got to train some people. Or maybe you just absolutely love being out in the field, running around, being out on the job. This is one for a lot of us. We love the energy. We love being on the job site. We love seeing things in motion physically. It's I think a lot of us suffer from this, and I did too. But are we really projecting our business forward by running a truckload of OSB to a job site?
Probably not.
It is true. Someone else can be doing that. You could be in front of a computer building out a standard procedure for something, or implementing a new job Nimbus process that you're trying to dial in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that's the sacrifice. And sometimes you kind of got to sacrifice, you know, front lines and having your eyes on everything and some of the fun things that you're used to kind of step out of your comfort zone in order to get your ball of a business moving forward in the right direction.
Man, that's so true. And I'll tell you that when you're talking about sacrifice, a lot of times we're working on the wrong things, Randy. A lot of times we're not looking at our priorities of what we need to be doing.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you almost know that you're not working on like the number one thing you should be working on, or you're doing something?
Yes.
You're like stuck on it. You're like, I can't let this go.
Every time I stay on social media longer than 5 minutes, I'm like, this is not something I should be doing.
Yeah,
Put
right.
it down.
Yeah, right.
Read a book.
Yeah. Or even another task that actually is good, but it might not be the most important thing that you need to be getting done. And if you did the most top priority, you'd be much better off. One thing I wanted to talk about though is, you know, we talked a little about training, onboarding. You know, with salespeople, it can be a little bit easier to judge performance based off numbers. You know, when you're building a staff, how do you like judge or really understand and analyze the performance of people that can't be judged on sales numbers?
There's so many more numbers in sales. Hey, newsflash, roofers, sales revenue is not the be all end all in your business. Trust me, it's not. There's a million other numbers that you can be using to propel your business forward. Obviously, we're plugging the Nimbus thing. They'll track these things. But the reality of it is everyone has a number. I mean, it could be as simple as the receptionist has a number of two rings, right? Her job, her number, she's being tracked by the fact that she answers the phone after 2 rings. always, or before 2 rings at all times. Maybe she gets rated on that and bonus based off that. So everybody has a number, and you got to establish that, dive into each position. We call this a KPI, a key performance indicator.
Yep.
But everybody has a number, and you got to figure out what that number is, put it on a graph, and use it to set goals, and use it for running meetings and that sort of thing. So everybody has a number.
Everybody
sales
has
numbers
number.
on everything.
I think Ronnie might have froze up on us over here, man.
Maybe you did. Well, let's check some more.
Yeah, let's see here. We got.
Well, hey, I had something here. We're talking about priority management. So this is something I kind of read recently and really kind of resonated with me. Is a lot of us, even though some of us are doing priority management and we're listing things out and picking the things that we think are good or we should accomplish each day and setting lists and that sort of thing. But human nature has it to where we naturally want to go after. If we write that list out, we're naturally going to work our way from the easiest to the hardest, right? So we're going to spend 80% of our time on the easy crap. And then it comes towards the end of the day and we got that one hard, annoying email that we got to deal with, or the one thing we got to write, or whatever we got to accomplish.
Yeah, good luck with that.
We push it off. And then at the end of the day, you're scrounging to try to, finish up your day strong, and you work late and all these things. The challenge is reverse that. Okay. Prioritize your day. Find the most challenging one, the most annoying one, the crappiest one, the one you don't want to deal with, and make it number one priority.
Over your coffee. Yep. Do that first. Because it makes you the most creative and productive in the morning as well.
It's amazing what you'll see, the transformation in what you're able to accomplish the other day. And this is something I practice, and I'm working on this process, right? But it's like, if I know I have something I got to get done that might take me a little bit of time, boom, wake up in the morning, first thing, I'm not even checking my email until that thing's done.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's nice with that too is if you get that big thing that you have to accomplish in the front end, now you got the momentum going. Now towards the end, when you want to finish just a couple more things, you got a couple little things that you can feel good about yourself checking off. Anything similar to like a Trello board, that you have something it's need to start, in process, completed, and you can just move that over.
Yep.
That really helps the flow as well.
Yep.
100%.
What was the book that came out of? We both read it recently.
I don't know.
They're all getting. I'm getting confused. I'm on like 24.
Yeah, right. I think I'm on 2 this year. So you're 22 ahead of me.
Couple ahead.
You're a couple ahead of me though.
You can catch up.
Yeah, right. We'll see. I don't think I will. But
all right. Well, that was a fantastic show. Anyways, I mean, we got again 35 minutes in, Matt. For some reason,
he's back. I think he might be back.
Fire.
Man. Oh man, he's back.
Dude, man, it went down.
The power out again, man.
Man, dude, I don't know what happened.
Dude, I don't know what happened either, man. This Facebook is just not liking us, man. We just got too much traffic going on or something, man.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, man. Dude. Well, one thing that I kind of just want to talk about too, man, is when you're in the heat of things right now, I feel like people are getting hail everywhere. It's summer, so it's great no matter where you are to be working on roofs. What's some habits or adjustments that people are going to make to just become more effective with sales and production?
Systemize it. So here is the number one thing to figure out. If you're going to write it, if you need systems and processes in place for your business, and you do, we all do. So you hear us, you need it. You need process. The most important process to set yourself up for scalability between sales and production is having a defined handoff process. Like that job needs to be ready to go 100%. All the I's crossed, all the T's, I's dotted and the T's crossed. You need materials. Everything needs to be in order, ready to go before you pass it off into the production department. Too often we don't have the complete information, and we just, let's get this job in the system, get it going. We don't have a defined process.
Yeah.
Production gets blown up.
So
because they're like, what's the color for this drip edge? Was this one supposed to have gutters removed or not? And you're just frantically trying to handle this stuff. Put the process in front ahead of time.
Yeah.
And train your people. Another reason why you don't just hire and throw people out in the field. Train them, because it's not easy to build and execute and hold people accountable to this process. But I trust me, those of you who have larger sales teams that are trying to figure this out, how to build your business and how to get past that glass ceiling of the $5 million or $10 million mark. This is the way to do it. You have to draw a line. You have to have a person in production that says, no, I am not going to roof this. You are missing X, Y, and Z. call me tomorrow. You do that a couple times to a salesperson, what do you think is going to happen?
They're probably going to change their habits.
They're going to change their habits, and they're going to do it. But we're too scared because we think that salesperson is just going to go work with the Joe Blow roofer because they have less process and they're not going to be so rigid, right? No, they appreciate. People do appreciate those systems, man. I'm telling you.
You know that I'm biting at the bit on this one because I know, man. Let me tell you something. Here's what typical most people run into. There's always a breakdown between sales and production. And look, sales guys are awesome at selling, okay? They're great at going and doing those things, but let's face it, that sometimes on the paperwork, when it comes back in, either the photos are missing, the contingencies are missing, or they don't have color selections or those things. And you're right, it gets into production. But check this out. If you will actually put in a manager or an office approval process, and I do this every time I build out one of our systems, I will build an office approval process to make every job, when it goes through a signed contract and when it comes into the office, they have a way of doing a review on it. They can basically look at the contract. They can look at the photos. So your production manager will absolutely love you because when it gets to them, look, there's three things here. If your sales pipeline is running dry, you're screwed pretty much. If your production, if you're not getting these jobs built and you got money just sitting there, you're screwed. And if you're not collecting your money, you're screwed. So that sales and that production and that billing is the three most critical things about any business, right? Lead generations, production. So by implementing and putting in that office approval process and have someone to review those files, and hey, if it needs to be supplemented, if you need to pre-cap that job, guess what? You can do that in the office approval process before it gets into production, so you can initiate the supplement on the front end. So by the time that it reaches production, you already know whether you're going to lose money or make money. Come on, guys. Implement that, man.
Check this out. We're on fire right now. And check this out. Here's another quirk that you can do.
Ooh, he's getting quirky over here. You see this?
Split that job comes in, split that job, send it over to supplementing, send it over to production, send it over to billing all at once.
Oh, man.
And then now they take their own paths. Production gets done. Supplementing is probably going to take a little bit longer. And then it all comes back together. And then all of a sudden, boom. Billing gets an automation and they get the full detail. This project is done, ready to be built, and here's the amount.
I love it.
That's a system, baby. That's how you do 1,000 roofs.
Randy was so pumped up, he even had magic hands going over here, man. Look at this.
You can't see me on the podcast.
Yeah, Ronnie takes a quicker intermission, man. He heads out for a couple minutes, comes back, and all of a sudden it's fired up over here. You know, we have let's see here. So Jake Dempsey actually responded to Janice on this, but I wanted to hear if you had anything cool on this one too. Janice says, hi, Ronnie, with Job Nimbus being so customized, what's the most creative or efficient thing you have seen implemented?
Ooh, wow.
That's a big one.
That is a big one. So
I think I just answered that.
I think
Randy did it.
I might have just answered that. I don't know.
I think, far as, depending on, listen, it depends on your industry. Okay. I mean, we have a lot of people that focus on insurance. We're assuming that most people at their roofing contractors, that's primarily what they do. But if you are in the industry as a roofer and you actually are doing a lot of insurance related work, that office approval process is probably one of the key things. Now, also reports is probably another big thing for me, because if you don't know where you are in your pre-caps and your budgets and knowing where your jobs are landing, that's probably another thing. So inside our system, you can actually create all kinds of cool custom fields in there. So like for like date of loss, date of completions, supplement amount, final amounts. And so knowing where those dollars are is important. So for me, I think that when you're looking in terms of the processes, that the office approval process is probably one of the biggest gaps between the sales and the production. And then that way, when it gets into billing, you're verifying those final supplements and stuff and making sure all those documentations are there. So slowing back on that and building that office approval is probably one of the bigger things for me. What about you, Randy?
I mean, we've been beating that one to death, but that's so crucial. That process is just so crucial, and it took us a while to figure it out. But that was definitely a pretty epic one. But honestly, I'm going to tee this back up. I'm going to tee this back to Ronnie. And I mean, I don't know. I have a hunch that overall, like we do a lot of insurance work, but we really focus on being a diverse roofing company. We have multiple divisions, multiple departments, multiple systems and processes for all of it, including, internal supplementing, retail sales, coatings, commercial, service department, like all the above. And I feel pretty confident that we've built out a really, significant process to be able to handle all of that. And for those contractors out there. So I don't know. I don't know. Ronnie, tee that up. When it comes to that approach, what do you say about, what's the best process you've seen overall?
So when you're talking about, if you're talking about like residential, you're talking about insurance, you're talking about commercial.
The whole thing, like running an entire business through the CRM as effectively as you possibly can.
So when it comes to the commercial side of things, man, there's two different types of commercial construction. So let me kind of back into this. And in my mind, there's two different types. You got the one side of commercial where you're really dealing with the business owner of the business. So if it's a church or if it's something like that, it's kind of close to the same process. But where your processes begin to deviate and change is for those people that are doing commercial construction, but they're going after bid work. They're working with large general contractors and they're going after TPO stuff. So those are different processes than your normal typical processes. But guess what? You can actually build them out on the boards right through Job Nimbus. Yep. You can actually create a residential, a commercial, and guess what? Most of you guys do repairs, right? So you can even create a process. And the cool thing about it is you can have like these three different divisions of residential, commercial, and then have everyone that's focused on commercial work off of the commercial boards. So it's basically being able to see the big picture. And if you guys are doing multiple trades, so if you're doing roofing, siding, gutters, windows, that's the typical things I normally see from that perspective. You're breaking those trades down and you're able to even have the capability of actually working those trades independently by the work orders.
Mm-hmm. So what about this hail?
Customizability is key.
What about this hail?
I'm ready to go.
How are you handling the increase in production efficiently?
Dude, here's the thing. This isn't our first rodeo.
No?
Hey, straight up.
Yeah.
We have a plan in place. We know what it's going to take. We have crews on notice. We got suppliers on notice. We got the whole team on notice. We know what to do. We know the timeline. We know we had just a meeting just the other day with our staff. We said, you guys know the drill. We have 3 weeks and then we're getting blasted. So be prepared, be ready. So the production department's getting all their systems and cleaning up any projects they've been working on, systematically, being ready for the influx of jobs that are coming in. The billing department, they're getting ready to rock and roll, and they're going to start seeing, we implemented some new processes where we got kind of an automated billing system for the front end check. So, we're rocking and rolling, ready to go, man. We're just excited to, when you spend the entire off season prepping and getting ready for the hail season, when hail season hits, you're ready to rock, man. Mm-hmm. You don't have to play as much defense.
Right.
You're not chasing your tail. We're ready to go. Like, we're just saying, how many can we get this year? Not can we get any, or can we get through the year? It's more how much can we do versus like, can we even do it, or can we get through it?
Mm-hmm.
But piggybacking off of that, Randy, too, is being able to listen, man. It all goes back to the visibility. If you don't go look at your calendar, don't look at your schedule to see what you got in the pipeline that's got to be built, it's kind of like controlling that flow, right? And having everybody on the same page. But that goes back from an entrepreneur, from an owner standpoint, no matter how big your sales teams are. But it's being able to know that, hey, production manager, how are we doing? Where are things going? Let's look at the calendar in those meetings, pull up, look at the calendar and see how many jobs you got out there, what's been ordered, what's on the backlog. Because I will tell you that a lot of times when, and Randy can probably can attest, especially in Colorado, I mean, sometimes you can get in a backlog to where you may be 3 to 4 weeks behind. So you got to stay on that and making sure that those materials are getting done. And that's something too. And there again, guys, I know that we've integrated with Beacon, but man, just being able to order now right through Beacon and being able to doing the material orders, schedule the time of the delivery, and those things are huge. And putting those things in place is what Randy is saying, man, is very, very crucial.
Yeah, I mean, being 3-4 weeks out, actually, we do that on purpose.
Yeah,
you know, because it gives you more time to be flexible. I mean, we
always
we're always
got it.
Quote unquote. Our goal
Right.
is to always stay between 2 and 4 weeks out year round. We scale our production and our crews and our capacity up and down to be able to stick within that. It gives us a lot of flexibility. We're in Colorado, like, you know, storms happen, weather happens, things happen, and it can be very challenging if you're trying to just roof, get it all done right now without actually kind of thinking more longevity. Like, all right, how do I build out a 2 to 3 week schedule at a minimal and just try to maintain that schedule versus just cramming everything into the machine, hoping we can get it all done in time, right? So there's a lot. I can go off on that for a while, but there's a lot of intentionality there with how well and how you actually structure your production from a strategic standpoint.
I like it.
I actually like that, Randy, because, you know, the thing about it is sometimes we rush out there to get these roofs done, and that's where the problems happen, right? That's where we create our own chaos. And I'll tell you that if you don't follow your own processes, you create your own chaos, because by the time that it all starts at the very beginning, right? It always starts at the very beginning from the sales process. If they get missed in the sales process, it gets into the production, and then production they skip a few steps. By the time that it gets to the end, that's where you're constantly putting out fires, and you're having to become more reactive instead of proactive, to where if you'll just stick within the realm of your processes and don't skip those steps, you're going to always come out ahead.
Awesome. So as we were coming down towards the end of this thing, I wanted to give a couple minutes to, you know, obviously we talked as businessman, we could talk all night about this, but you got a lot of cool things happening. There's a lot of cool things going on with Job Nimbus. So I wanted to give you a couple minutes to just let our viewers know, as one of our headlining sponsors, we want to thank you guys for your support. We love our relationship and partnership with you guys from a business perspective, from roofing as well as the academy. We love the team. We appreciate all you guys. You know, we love working with you, not only just because your system's great, because you practice what you preach, and you built a team of great people with high character, and it's a pleasure working with you. So give us a little insight on what you guys are working on and what's coming down the pipe for Job Nimbus.
Well, I mean, first of all, thank you. And I will tell you, listen, we get a lot of, we listen to our customers, and I just want to kind of just talk about that for just a second. Okay. Is we meet on a consistent basis, and we are constantly looking at ways that we can always make the system better. But it's not even about the system. We truly care about the customers, and we truly care about their experience, and we listen to what you say. And far as those types of things, and that's one of the reasons we understand what we're good at. We're the hub. We want to house everything, and that's the reason why that we are launching a lot of new things. So probably some of the latest things, guys, is the Beacon integration that we just finished. We just launched with Leap. Leap is really cool, and that's another thing when we're talking about a business model, we're talking about software. We're wanting to be able to try to formulate this business in a box almost, and this is the reason why we're trying to partner up with people like Randy and people with like Leap and Beacon, and to make everything in natural forms, and to where you can get contracts. We're not perfect, but we're so much striving to try to get you guys to where they are. Now, probably the next things that are coming up, man, is the JNSS. I cannot encourage. I want to just challenge everybody. Invest in yourself, invest in the business, man. It's going to be 2 solid days. It's going to be a time to where you can look at it and structure like you are right now, Randy. So that's probably one of the things that's coming up. I'm going to be in Denver here in 12 days. We're doing a 1-day workshop. Man, it's sold out. And here's the thing, the reason I say that, it lets me know that people that really care about their businesses, they're investing in learning and getting in hands-on to make the things better. We got a lot of cool stuff that's coming down the pike, things that we're developing internally. We're going to be sharing some things coming up There's some things that we can't do yet, but we are working and developing internally to give better things. Now, here's something I can tell you. I'm completely, as far as the training, because I handle all of the services, I handle all of the trainings, on sites, remotes, but we're developing a process to where we can do some mentorship stuff. We're breaking some things up to really be able to help the customers in a better way. So I will tell you from a job Nimbus standpoint and from services standpoint, training standpoint, being able to break things up and to do different types of trainings and help on different automations and integrations and stuff like that. There's some cool things coming that you'll be seeing here soon.
I love it.
Awesome.
I love it.
Thank
We're
you so
excited about
much,
it, man.
Ronnie. But I want to also, we don't do this enough too.
Yeah.
For those of you who are watching live, watching this on Facebook, watching the recap, and especially for those of you, the podcast has been growing like crazy. I mean, we need to look at the stats, but I'm pretty sure this is by far the fastest growing podcast in the construction roofing space. And it's been such a fun time and a fun adventure to share with you all. And we don't ask enough, but we would love your feedback. Go to our Facebook page. Let us know what you think. Give us a rating. You share this out with your groups, with your family, with your friends, and let's continue bringing a good positive message of entrepreneurship and helping the industry that we love so much grow. So we thank you guys. Let us know what you think. Give us a review. And another big thank you to our feature sponsor of the night, the Roofing Academy.com.
Right.
Yeah. Check it out. Go to the Roof Academy. Let me know what you think. There's plenty of links on there where you can actually set up a call directly with me. I'd love to chat with you, show you more about what we're trying to accomplish, and just get to know you a little bit and see if it's a good fit to work with you. So I don't pitch it enough, but that's my heart. I love working with contractors. I love providing solutions and helping people learn and grow and break through these glass ceilings that I had to work so hard to get through. I love sharing that journey and helping people expedite theirs.
Absolutely, guys. Well, this was episode 66 of the Start Build Grow Show. Ronnie, thank you so much for joining again. I know you took a brief intermission. You came back firing with some value. We appreciate it, my friend. Guys, we'll see you at the Job Nimbus Solutions Summit, October 3rd and 4th. You got about 5 days left, I believe, for the early bird special. Check that out, $100 off.
Absolutely.
Take care. God bless.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.